there, our beloved Ascension pioneers, and welcome to this short Ascension update. As you can see, I'm still present here with you, and there's a lot of updates and upgrades going on at this time. So if you've been on the brave side of life and you've been moving through a lot of deep ancestral healing this July, then you will see a quick, almost like a quick manifestation essence coming out here forth as Venus now moves really retrograde. We've been waiting for this for a while, and Uranus as well. So we're going to move into this deepening, and this will be to really reflect on our own manifestation. It's not a technique, it's not an art of, something you discover. It's not a modality, but it's a way of living. So I want to talk about the art of manifestation here, but in terms of a way of living. A lot of times we see these teachings on the art of manifestation through, let's say, The Secret, how to manifest, simple manifestation principles, and a lot of it comes through, constant knowing what you want, putting it out there, trying to create it, be very vigilant in what you're creating. And when you really come into this core presence of your being, you will realize that the basic art of creating is being in your creation self. It is so simple, and this means that you no longer try so hard to be somewhere, do something, try something new, try something specific that would get you to manifest something you desire. Because if something that you desire does not come effortlessly, if you feel like you have to be a certain place, you have to do a certain thing in order to come closer to manifestations, then you really are coming more from the outside moving into inside rather than the inside becoming its true self in order to create all around it. So when you know how to create your sacred space in alignment with your true harmonic creation self, your mere lifestyle will be a source of manifesting. So this means that how you live your life in a natural organic sense is already creating things for you. Grace is then bringing things that you need to better create. So let's say other things you need, like tools, resources, Spirit always gives us as gifts. Let's say if I want to create jewelry and I want to work with these stones that I have offering here, and then I receive them as gifts from Spirit. When I create a space of a certain vibrational living style essence that directly reflects me and represents who I am on that basic prime level, then all else comes to me as gifts, opportunities, everything that I need to manifest that in the outside world as well. But what a lot of times we perceive as manifesting is, writing down these endless lists of what we want. A lot of these things are egoic. And if something is not flowing, then it's just not. Or we want all of our seeds to sprout. Look at nature. We plant the seeds, not all of them sprout, right? Not all of them will produce something that will become something we will use, something that will gift us. So this means that sometimes when we plant seeds, a lot of the seeds we plant are also for learning, for maybe expanding into something like a soul essence. It's not going to be for something coming out materially. Not all the seeds are meant to have material results. So when you look at the nature of pregnancy even, you have lots of semen moving out there, and only one will say, okay, I'm hitting the spot. I'll make something physical, will be tangible. Doesn't mean that the rest of the semen has no purpose. Everything energetically serves a purpose on a higher sense. So when we work with our prime creation self, it means that the first thing we need to do is trust ourselves and where we are. What is our sacred space? What kind of lifestyle really represents who we are? At its basic core prime level, a lot of times if we might want to hunt for something else, let's say we're trying to fulfill the status quo. And the white butterfly came here to say hello, say yes to what we're sharing here. A lot of times we'll create a lot of restriction, a lot of frenetic energy, because we're going to try to figure out things. If you don't know something, it's like this for a reason. When we do know, we're going to have all that we need to know. All the tools, everything will come, but it has to be direct knowing of the soul. I've been having these conversations with people, and someone will say, oh, you should try this, or yeah, you're going to do, and, meet someone or do that when you go here and there. And you think about it for a while, and you're thinking, okay, but what is really in my soul? So I have this example to share with you. For a while, I've been thinking, okay, I have to go to a holiday, this is something, I need to do. And then you realize that what soul guides you to do is always in the now present moment. Doesn't mean I'm not going on a holiday. Maybe I am, in the near future, whatever it is. And when you say the holiday, what does the word even mean for you? What is the authentic holiday for you? A lot of the things I've been pondering about when I go into natural landscapes is a lot of environments you go to are very third dimensional based, very dense. There's lots of people and crowds and mass things, and the energy is not really pleasant. So even though it's related with nature, which I love, it's not always authentic to how I love spend time within my own sacred space. So there's something important, and as we ponder on this, as we reflect, then things just come into this crystallization. And whenever you are in your sacred space, you're already manifesting. There's always opportunities for you because these are natural. These are source given through your own I am presence. And your soul is receiving them and passing them on to you, and you're just the recipient saying, okay, I'm welcoming all this, and you're feeling happiness and bliss and gratitude. And the thing is, we're trying very much still in our society, we're trying to manifest, we're trying to figure out things. If something is in need of our knowing, it will come. It will be a deep knowing. It's not a sense of that knowing yet, because I've been having this feeling I might go somewhere. It didn't really come. There's 1,000 opportunities to choose from. There always are. It's not about that. Let's say I would be given thousands of dollars now by someone, and Spirit would say, okay, you can go anywhere in a holiday you want. And if my heart still wouldn't feel to go anywhere, what would I listen to? Would I listen to that external, which is an offering of money, or would I listen to my heart that says, okay, maybe I am, but maybe you're not right now because I'm not feeling it yet? So this is trusting Spirit. When we're aligned with Spirit, everything in our life will flow. How we gift ourselves, how we gift others, how we radiate, it's going to be natural. And when we're natural, this is the most primal things to us. And this is what we've forgotten and buried deep inside the most as human beings. This is something that, we're just not natural anymore. You go outside, you see people, they're just all trying to create a certain living style, to do something, to manifest. And yet, you are your living style. Your essence speaks to it. I remember a while ago someone said to me, I'm trying to create this kind of music with these kind of melodies. And I said, why are you trying? If it's already in your heart, it will sound this way. If not, maybe it's going to be a different frequency. Just don't try. When I sing, I just show up, the voice, and people say, oh, this is this kind of frequency. It's just natural. I'm not thinking about, okay, I'm going to now create this angelic song or whatever it is. It's just everything we create is when it's our true authentic self nature, it's already aligned, and we just have to live it. We just have to show up, basically. And when you're trying to think, where should I go? I have this $1 million, where should I go? And you're thinking it's coming from the mind, it's not the same. When there's an instant pull, there's a vibrational pull for you to be somewhere or engage in something, in a relationship or whatever it is, it's going to be very natural. So a lot of times also Spirit reminded me this week was I was doing something, it was really like instant clarity moment, because I was thinking about how people often say, be positive, thinking only positive things, only positive desires, look at only positive things, feel your emotions, but don't think about it, just move into that direction. And when we do that, we don't look at all sides of nature. We're always trying to put something we don't like aside. So I'm going to share my example with you. It's not a story, just an example. I was very much called to be within my home space this July. I'm glad I listened to that calling, because now this guidance game that I completed and culminated in this cycle, and that I've achieved this mastery, which is just one level. That's always, okay, what's next? It doesn't stop. It really doesn't. But there's an arrival. There's a sense of arrival because I was brave enough to be in the things that maybe I thought this was not how I intended this summer to be. Because Spirit will always have where you need to be. Your healing is going to be where you need to be. And when you listen to that, even if your mind wants to go 1,000 other places, then you will move so quickly through what you need to do. You will move through your rite of passage. You will create naturally, and you won't need any manifestation tools or techniques, because you're already going to be fulfilling your highest fulfillment. You're going to move through your self-realization, and it is so simple. So when I listen to myself, and I constantly had these, many things coming up, which is not bad, because you're planting those seeds, but maybe they're not all sprouting in this now moment. I might be dreaming and visualizing this exotic place, whatever it is, but my heart is saying, be here for now. That's going to come when I try to make it happen, when I go against the flow. And when there's an opportunity, there's a knowing, it's a crystal clear knowing. A lot of times things will come to you because other people are there too in other situations, and it might tempt you a little bit to give in to that. So you say, you want to do this, or you want to go there, it's still important to listen to your heart, because in your own solitude it's very easy sometimes to hear it, but surrounded by all these things and people saying all many things as well, it's not so easy. So that's why we need to really always return back to meditation, to our source connection, to feed it, do this. Very simple to attune yourself. And just, I was walking yesterday, held my hands like this. So beautiful. Complete washing over with source light, and it was really beautiful. So how little we need to actually be in our sacred space. So little. And so when we move deep back within this core self, we will see we don't only manifest which is positive, we need to manifest what is real for us here and now. We don't always manifest just what we wish in this moment, because wishing is of the mind. Soul desire is something that is desired for you to fulfill in order to grow and expand and ascend. So for me, this was this inner holding. There was lots of ancestral things coming through, and I need to be present with it. If my focus would be travels, this and here and there, I wouldn't be self-fulfilled in the way that my soul plans for me. And when I tune into my soul, even though the mind sometimes has its own story, then I know and I trust. And I say, I want to go there, yes, but right now I'm not guided to. You see, I can be in this balanced state of both. And I don't perceive that as a polarity that would exclude itself, but as a mastered, balanced polarity of you creating the seeds. You're always planting seeds, so you're always creating. But you also have to trust that whatever's being created in the now is physical, like physical opportunities, physical things, people, relationships, situations. It comes as it's right, as it's rightful for you through your own rite of passage in this moment. Another thing I often see with people, I had this one example. I was guided to say something to someone because Spirit just showed me, just put them out there as an offering. We can't really put our things there to people because they need to walk their own stuff. They need their own experience. But there was something I was guided to say, and the person was immediately defending themselves and denying, like, okay, I'm just putting it there. Maybe one day it comes back to their own self. But a lot of times, I see people that are not living in their grounded presence. Let's say life gives them something, let's say you have a child. You're very young and you have a child and you want something else, and you say, no, but my path is this and there, and I want to go there, and you're kind of denying where you are now. And there's a responsibility, there's a commitment you made with another, and you created this child. And you're not mature yet enough to realize that, and you say, but I want this, or I want to be a spiritual teacher. And I see so much this essence that we put these things as their positions, like it's dualistic. Have a child, it's a different path than you, let's say, wanting to be a spiritual teacher. Why? Children are a part of us. Everything is a part of us. Everything is so unified. But I see that the wishful thinking, the brain that wants us to be somewhere else rather than learning through life, letting life guide us, and this is how wisdom comes. There's a beautiful movie out now that really shows this as well. I don't know how it's called exactly, but I think it's called Far Away from the Meddling. I don't know, I really forgot the movie, but it's a newer movie, and it shows this woman who lives alone, and she's completely independent, and the man comes to her and he proposes, and she says, no, I'm this wild being, I'm never gonna be tamed, I'm this wild creature. I don't want a man to own me, I don't want to belong to anybody. And life kind of takes her to experience. So in the end, through all the experiences she's gained, and with other men and with other things that life showed her, she gains wisdom. She learns through example. And life always gives her something that she needs, maybe something else she wants, but life creates a different path. So either way, sometimes we want something, but life is always giving us for her highest good. It's just that the mind that was programmed does not always recognize it. So it creates the separation from what is the original desire, and cannot see that that original desire already birthed this. Let's say you want to be a spiritual teacher, and instead, you want to be completely alone, and you want to be this wise sage. You can't imagine, having a family or something. And then you get a child. And how can this not be a part of your desire? Because maybe that's exactly what you need to get you to activate you into your highest mastery essence. And because of these exclusions we have, because we can't integrate things into unified polarity, sometimes there's this lack of wisdom. I see people just want things, but they're not wise enough to move through life. So they say, why is life so hard? Well, because there's no wisdom that would understand things that are happening already for your highest good, already naturally happening. And sometimes you want to just offer someone this higher perspective, because when we're entangled in something and we really want it, like through the mind, we can't see always, and that's all you can do. So if you're working with others, you're always planting seeds as well with others, but that's all you can do. You can't be responsible for what they're choosing and living and creating. But you can't put things out there, but then leave it. Just leave it to mature in their own when time is ready, when the soil is right. So we really, with creativity, with creations, with life in general, how we participate in life, it's so simple. All we need to do is trust life, because life is already spirit. It's not separate from it. And when we trust life, we will know that everything we always receive as an opportunity, we will see as an opportunity. I didn't want a child, to get a child. Maybe that's the opportunity I asked for, but I didn't expect it to come this way. Ooh, it's challenging, it's hard. Well, challenges are not hard, except if we believe it to be. So a lot of the influences that are actually influencing how we create our beliefs, as you know this, it's not just the beliefs, it's an overall awareness of who we are and how we in this moment emanate, how we radiate with a certain awareness. And a lot of times I see, I'm going to take this one example, is people really believe different things and then they're creating on that level. Let's take the example of the word twin flame. People really love to use, and I see there's so many different beliefs about this topic that they're all true in a way, because they're true for everybody who's believing them. Someone believes, okay, twin flame relationships, that's what they call them. They say they're really hard and challenging, and there has to be this person who plays a runner, or one plays the victim, the other one plays the I need to get you. And they believe this, they create this. They say, okay, I know my twin flame, but it's hard and we're never going to be together because of this, and they're married and all this, and they so believe this, and this is what for them twin flame means, and they're creating this. And it's exactly the validation they're going to get from the universal force of love, which says, okay, you are love, and whatever you choose to create is yours. So for me, for my example, what sacred union represents is something completely different. I'm not saying it's opposite, I'm saying it's different. And on my level of awareness, that's what I'm creating. And that's why my experience of this is completely different than most of other people's experiences that I'm hearing from people that write to me or what they share. And I don't really feel the need to negate their experience, because in truth, everything you create is just, you're tapping into that part of source that experienced that way. You're tapping into that creation experience. So nothing is really wrong. And there is a difference that when you gain wisdom, you will flow through life. You'll be floating rather than just resisting. It's saying, okay, this is here in my life, but it must not be a reason for it. It must be something else. So we're always trying to find these excuses for things not to work, or we blame other people. Or we say, yeah, I trust this, but not that. And there's always duality coming from this. In truth, everything is unified. If you get something you didn't really want to, you have to know that it's still something you really wanted on a soul level. And as hard as it is for some people to embrace, it's the truth. So rather than facing this, people say, but I'm going to try to create differently, and even I've been at the point sometimes to say, am I doing something wrong for not creating this and that? Maybe others have, but then the answer comes, no, they're just creating on different levels. So compare and know that what you're creating is perfect for you. You don't do anything wrong, ever. But when we have this doubting mechanism inside our brain, our little brain, then it's the only way to move through it is to embrace even that particle and say, okay, this part of me thinks I'm maybe not trying everything out. Sometimes you'll say, okay, I'm going to try other things and other venues, and again, the more you'll try, the more it'll come against you. Resist life, life resists you, and you will have that own experience. Sometimes there is no other way than to have the exact experience, and this is how we grow, through having the energetical experience. And we deepen that on the spiritual level. In this movie, it was exactly so. So in the end, beautiful ending, she did end up with that man, and they had been through so much together. But it took her emotional and spiritual maturity for her to understand, for her to, be at the place where he already was all the time. Sometimes souls hold this, the space for each other. It was really beautiful. It was really an example of complete unconditional love. By a soul, that whatever you do, the other just waits for you, in terms of they hold the space, and it's unconditional. They never see you as doing something wrong. They understand you're just going through your own cycles of maturation. So, how do we create on higher levels? To sum it up, it's very simple. Stop trying, stop manifesting, let life manifest for you what is already in your own natural self. Everything, remember, in infinite nature of unity consciousness, because only unity can be infinite. And if you don't understand this concept, try reading the Law of One from the raw material. They explain this beautifully, because only unity can have infinity. If there's no unity, then their parts are always not infinite. They're always definite, and they have a certain beginning and ending. So when we understand this in this infinite space, you will know you already, all these things already are, they're already there. But when you align with the part you've chosen yourself to work through, to master, to embody at this time, it's gonna be flow. And doesn't mean you can't have other dreams and wishes to stop dreaming all of a sudden and just live a life that's, no. Because sometimes people do that. I notice this. They're not getting what they want, their life force drops, they're starting to stagnate. Whew. That can be challenging, because then when you see someone whose life force starting to, kind of like a light dimming, you can literally see their light dimming. They're lacking the passion for life. They're lacking the will that drives you forward, and realizing the gratitude for being alive. And I see oftentimes it's the gratitude that's missing. Just this, it was yesterday, I went to the market. There's this man selling fruits, the organic fruits. And it's just kindness, because these people are doing these things and we're grateful for them. And a lot of times I notice other people come and they're so not grateful, and they're like, what's this fruit like? Is it even sweet? They taste it like, oh, they never show any appreciation for the people doing that. They're taking things for granted, like they're always going to be there. Imagine one day waking up, world stops to function the way it does. There's no food at the stores, nobody's producing anything, you don't know what to do next, and then maybe you would see all the things that were there in your life before you never showed appreciation for. And it's like gratitude in your heart that continues to open your heart, and when your heart is open, you're already naturally manifesting. That's the only key, that's the only art you'll ever need. You don't need to read tons of books on the secret and how to manifest. Sometimes it is how people make money, and these things that they teach people, they need to know when the knowing is already so primal. It's stop having this relationship with everything. Just be it. Just be yourself. Love the self, your path, unique as it is. Manifestations are happening naturally. That's the art of manifesting. So I hope this somehow helps, because life is supposed to be effortless. It's supposed to be fun, creative, experiential. Not, I have this, but I want something else instead, so I'm going to create lots of friction and opposition and trying and mingling and trying to influence universal energies there, instead of just being ourselves and then letting things come to us. It's how it is. Source is infinite abundance, and so are we, because we're that source. So thank you for listening, tuning in. I hope you will have a beautiful month ahead. There's August energy update available on my SoundCloud profile, tongue-tied. And I again invite you to take my mastery courses if you want to deepen yourself, introverted self of self-mastery, exploration. And for those of you who will decide to take them all at once, you have a discount if you take all the courses together. So that's available. And cosmic convergence, don't forget about that as well. Lots of cosmic codes of activation there. I'll talk to you next time, whenever that is. Have a beautiful month of August, because it will get more manifesting for us, for those of you who've really done the inner work to move boldly into this new lifestyle that's more natural and organic to us. Take care. So much love, wisdom, and power as always.